Today is my first makeup tutorial that I'm going to do for you, and I'm not going to lie, I'm hungover. So I thought I would show you how to make yourself look more live on the days where you actually just want to die. So I'm going to start by applying some trusty Beauty Flash Balm to give me a bit of radiance. So I'm just going to take a little pea-sized amount, pop it on my face, and just stroke it outwards. Beauty Flash Balm has a film former, so don't try and massage it in because it'll end up just rolling off on your face. Just stroke it in. Okay, so I think you're nice and zoomed in on my naked face now. So now I'm going to do a bit of foundation, and today I'm going to use Revlon's Nearly Naked, which I've been using for maybe 2 weeks now. It's growing on me. I was a little bit underwhelmed to begin with, but I'm enjoying it now. It doesn't come with a pump, which is super irritating. It's so messy. So to apply this, I'm going to use my trusty Urban Decay optical blending brush. Next, I'm going to apply some of my trusty Urban Decay eyeshadow primer. For those of us with really oily eyelids, this is such an amazing product. If you apply this, your eyeshadow just will stay put forever. It won't come off. I use it every single day. It's the one item I could never actually live without. The next product I'm going to apply is the Bobbi Brown Corrector, which Julia and I have spoken about at length on the blog. It's just a kind of like a concealer for under the eye that neutralizes any darkness. So it's kind of a peachy apricot color, and it just gives you the appearance of like flesh colored skin under your eyes as opposed to that kind of purpley blue undertone. So I'm just going to use a little MAC concealer brush, and I'm just going to pop it in the areas where I'm darkest, which is just in the corners here. It's incredibly creamy, so it blends beautifully, but obviously do put an eye cream on before you apply this just to make it a bit more, to hydrate the area a bit more. The next step when you're concealing under your eyes is then to apply a highlighter. This is the Bobbi Brown Tinted Eye Brightener, which I adore. A great one is also the Clinique Airbrush Concealer, which we've spoken about before. So I'm just going to dot this under my eyes, and then you can either use your fingers or a brush to blend it out. I like to use one of these little flat brushes from Real Techniques, just to pat it into the area. Next I'm going to fill in my eyebrows. As you can see, my brows are uneven, they're not the same shape, they're very short. They have little sparse patches, so I use my trusty lingering eye pencil from MAC, eyebrow pencil from MAC to fill them in. And how I do this is I start by brushing them down like this. And I then take the pencil and just trace it along the top. I don't put in a huge arch or anything like that, my brows are quite straight. So I just elongate them a bit to about there. And then you just do the same with the bottom and meet up at the end. Right, now onto the eyes. I'm going to use two palettes which actually, now that I look at them, are almost identical. One is this Corinne Reutefield from MAC palette, which has a series of really great colors, and this is one I made myself, which is almost identical. To start with, I'm going to take this color here, which is kind of the same color as Brulee, which is just a vanilla color with a subtle shimmer, and I'm going to put that all over the lid. Then I'm going to take this color, which is Desert, and put it in the lid, and to finish I'm going to take Satin Taupe, which is this color here, and I'm going to just run it through the socket line. And I'm going to run a bit of it under the eye as well. So next I'm going to line the eye using this dark powder here. It's not quite a black, it's just kind of very, very deep navy. and I'm going to use a little angled brush to do this. And I'm going to gently just wing out the edges just a little bit. And it's so easy to do this with this brush because the angle is there for you. You don't need to create any kind of shape. It's done for you. You just literally rotate the brush and it's done. So I'm just going to push the powder into my lash line. To create a bit of added definition. And then when you get to the end, just turn the brush like this. And there you have it. Next I'm going to curl my eyelashes and put on some mascara. So I'm going to use my MAC eyelash curler and just give it a nice gentle curl. I like to curl twice, otherwise I find if you curl just at the roots and you curl quite hard, your eyelashes come up at like a 90-degree angle, which is not great for when you're applying your mascara. So I go once at the root and once again kind of mid-length to give it a more natural looking curl. For mascara I'm using the faithful Clinique Extreme Volume, High Impact Extreme Volume Mascara. I can never get that name right. Next I'm going to contour my face. I'm going to be using this NARS contour bronzer. It's in the shade Laguna. On days like today when your skin, well my skin is looking particularly flat and lifeless, I think it's nice to add a bit of colour in the form of a bronzer. So I'm going to take this contour brush from Real Techniques and I'm going to just fill in, if you just suck your cheeks in like this, you can see exactly where you need to contour, and then obviously just around the hairline and on the jaw as well. So I'm just going to quickly do that. Next step is some blusher. For this I'm going to be using a Bobbi Brown cream blush, and this colour is Blushed Rose. It's a really nice kind of dusty rosy colour instead of my usual very baby pink. I wanted something a bit more sophisticated. So to apply this I'm going to be using a Real Technique stippling brush, and I just kind of dip it in like that and pop it on my cheeks. You can of course use your fingers for this, but I'm a bit of a queen, so I don't really like getting my fingers in products. And it just blends really, really nicely. Next I'm going to do just a bit of highlighting on the cheekbones to add a bit more luminosity to my skin, and for that I'm going to be using this Dior Nude highlighter. Using my stippling brush I'm just going to gently pop it on top and just do a little bit on the top of my brow bone. I'm also using a MAC 217, I'm going to run it just under my brow bone. Then my second to last step is to conceal my spot on the side of my mouth here. To do that I'm going to be using this MAC Studio Finish Concealer, which I love, and I'm using actually a lip brush. This is a pointed lip brush, which I find better for smaller spots because you can get more targeted pinpoint concealing done. Then lastly I'm just going to powder my T-zone with a translucent finishing powder. This is my trusty black Opal, which I adore. I actually got it in my Ruby box and that's how I first discovered it, and I loved it so much that I promptly went out and bought the full size. Obviously not going to powder the cheeks because I want to keep them nice and dewy. And the last step is my lips. I want to keep the lips very natural, so I'm going to be using, I actually bought this yesterday and I'm already obsessed with it. It's a Givenchy Hydra Sparkling Magic Lip and Cheek Balm. Oh, it's so nice. It's so nice. It looks quite sheer, but it actually brings out the natural colour in your lips, which I really like, so it makes them look quite pink. And the consistency is lovely. It's really soothing, because I was talking to Julia the other day, we were saying our lips are so dry at the moment, no matter what we do, we cannot keep them hydrated. It's obviously that time of year, so it's to be expected, but this is lovely and really, really thick, and oh, it's just incredible. Okay, so just let that hair down. Right, so there you have the finished look. Hopefully I don't look as awful as I did when I started. I certainly always feel better once I've put my makeup on. I always feel a bit more ready to face the day. Okay, are we done?